Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to write a task 1 introduction. So let's get started.
Actually, writing a task 1 introduction is quite simple. After finishing the lesson, I hope you will be writing a task 1 introduction more easily. Before starting the introduction part, let's have a look at types of questions on IELTS Writing Task 1. The first one, as you can see, it's a line graph, bar chart, and third one is table. Next is the pie chart, process, sometimes we call it diagram, and the last one is actually map. And what I'm showing is that, an introduction for task 1 is the same for all types of questions. You can write a task 1 introduction more easily. Today we're going to have a look at a Band 9 method to write a task 1 introduction and some examples of writing introductions, paraphrasing vocabulary, and some exercise that are actually for you. So let's start. Here is a simple method to write a task 1 introduction. There are actually two rules, generally two rules. Paraphrase the question and try to include some details from the picture. I'm in the graph or chart, like details like countries, items, units, and so on. We will learn them during this lesson. And most importantly, please try to keep your introduction short. 1 or 2 sentences enough. And try to make it without any mistakes, like grammatical and vocabulary. Let's try to use this method with some examples. Here are sample introductions. The question. The charts below show the comparison of different kinds of energy production of France in 2 years. Here's a question, and below we can see the answer. The two pie charts compare the proportion of 5 types of energy production in France in 1995 with that of 2005. It's actually a quite nice introduction. Paraphrase it. Not only actually used synonyms, but also took some details from the picture as well. For example, the first one, the question says the charts, we used the two pie charts to make it more clear what kind of chart we are actually writing. And nice word compare, and we used some synonyms and time expressions as well. We make it more clear in 1995 with that of 2005. Let's have a look at another example with line graph. The graph below shows the average number of Vietnamese students studying in France, Russia, and America between 2000 and 2015. The answer is the line graph provided gives information on how many students of Vietnam were educated in 3 different countries over a 15-year period from 2000 to 2015. As you can see here, is also we used the same method, just paraphrasing the question and taking some information from the picture itself. Let's have a look at another example again. The charts below show the online sales for retail sectors in New Zealand in 2003 and in 2013. The answer is actually the pie charts illustrate data on the online sales of for various retail sectors: travel, film and music, books and clothes. In New Zealand in 2003 with that of 2013, the units are measured in percentages. Here also we used the same method to write our introduction, actually paraphrasing the question and taking some information from the chart. Here I'm going to give you some tips. Before starting to write your task 1 report, please try to spend some minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes, reading your question and analyzing the picture, the graph or chart. Then you may start writing your introduction, then your overview and details, main bodies. So as you can see, in order to write a task 1 introduction, we need to know some synonyms and some expressions and grammatical structures. Now we are going to learn them. Let's start. Paraphrasing vocabulary. First of all, let's look at the introductory expressions. useful introductory phrases. The first column, as you can see, they are very useful introductory phrases. You can just select one according to the question type you have. For example, if you have got the question type table, the table shows changes in. You can easily take this one. Or the table gives information about. The bar chart compares and the graph illustrates. But when you are using the verb compare, please be careful. If actually there is no comparison in your graph on your chart, I do not recommend to use the word compare. It should be some comparisons to use the word compare or make some comparisons. So, or other types like pie charts, we can say the pie charts compare, the diagram shows the process of, the figure shows how something is produced. Simple change you can make here. Graph, we can use line graph if it is line. Chart, we can say bar chart, and diagram, we can say figure. And some verbs, shows, illustrates, compares. Again, there are actually lots of verbs to use in our introduction, like depicts, reveals, indicates, demonstrates, or represents. Proportion can be the synonym for percentage, information, actual data, the number of, the figure for, the proportion of, they are all synonyms. People in the UK is a nice word, the bridge. For example, if you have actually people in China in your question, you can say the Chinese. And time expressions here from 1999 to 2009 can be the synonym between 1999 and 2009 can be the synonym over a period of 10 years. And in your question, if there is actually some, and here in 3 countries, if you have in your question like in 3 countries or in 3 cities, you can just give the name of the cities or countries like this in the UK, France, and Spain. Just name the countries to make it more clear. Here are the synonyms. We can actually rewrite a phrase by using the word how. The line graph shows the number of people. We can say the line graph shows how many people. Or we can say the line graph depicts changes in spending on. We can say the line graph depicts how much change spending on. As you can see, we can use the number of instead of how many or vice versa. Here we can see that instead of the number of, we can use how many, or an amount of can be used actually as how much. The number of actually as quantity of, or spending expenditure, rate, percentage, ratio, proportion, information, data, or change can be used like increase, decrease, or variation, share, portion, place, and sign. Here, as you can see, we have seen some synonyms. I will try to give the list of useful phrases and synonyms in the description below. You can just copy them and use them in your introduction. So here some exercise actually there for you as I promised. One thing, do not forget to leave your own examples in the comment section below. Actually, we have got bar chart and table, as we have seen some examples for pie and line graph. I told you actually the writing and introduction method is the same for all types. So you're gonna write your own examples in the comment section below. I will be checking them. As writing and introduction is the same for all types, you can just use the same method to write the introduction part for them. The first one is actually the chart shows the percentage of males and females who were overweight in Australia from 1980 to 2010. And the next one is actually the table compares modes of transport used in 3 countries. Try to use some synonyms and structures, and don't forget to take some details from the picture as well.
That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe my channel and click the button like. See you next time.